Every successful, sustainable, and scalable creator business I have seen in the past 2 years has one thing in common. And no, it's not a massive following. Here's what most creators don't realize. Platforms have windows. There was a window for YouTube, a window for Instagram, a window for TikTok, and in every single case, the creators who got in early, before the platform was saturated, have built audiences that late arrivals spent years catching up to. And right now, there's a window open on Substack. But most creators are either ignoring it completely or they are wasting the opportunity by dabbling around. They're posting into the void, building publications with 0 visitors and wondering why nothing is working. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why Substack is different from every other platform, why the window is open right now, and what you need to do to actually take advantage of it before it closes. So let's get into it. Let me start by explaining something that completely changed how I think about building online. Every platform goes through different phases. Phase 1 is usually discovery. Early adopters show up, the algorithm is generous, and growth comes relatively easy because there's more demand for content than there is supply. Phase 2 is growth. More creators join, the platform matures, but there's still opportunity if you are strategic and smart. Phase 3 is saturation. Everyone is there, the algorithm tightens, organic reach drops, and suddenly you're fighting for scraps of attention against millions of other creators. And this is also true even if you have an existing audience on a platform. Think about Instagram in 2014 versus the platform today. Think about YouTube in 2010 versus YouTube now. The creators who built during phase 1 and 2, those are the ones with sustainable businesses. The ones who showed up in phase 3, they are grinding for views that might never come. Substack is in late phase 1, early phase 2 right now, and the proof is everywhere. The New Yorker has just launched on Substack. Gary Vee hired a dedicated Substack manager and launched his publication Underpriced Actions. Justin Walsh, who has over 800,000 followers on LinkedIn, launched his publication called Unsubscribe. Kamala Harris is on Substack. Selena Gomez's Rare Beauty launched a publication as well. There are dozens of similar examples that prove that Substack is not a tiny platform anymore. When you see this kind of migration from legacy media, massive personal brands, political figures, and major consumer brands, it means that attention is moving. And here's what's happening behind the scenes. Substack recently raised $100 million at over a $1.1 billion valuation. They now have over 5 million paid subscriptions, and several creators on the platform earn over $1 million per year just through subscriptions. When a platform raises that kind of money, they need growth, and when they need growth, they push content, they reward creators, and they make the algorithm more generous. Substack is not an experiment anymore, it's an infrastructure, and the platforms that become infrastructure tend to stick around. That's your window. Now you might be thinking, okay, Substack is hot, but so was Clubhouse, so was Threads. What makes this different, right? Great question. And it comes down to one fundamental thing that most people completely misunderstand. Here's why people get Substack wrong. They think it's a newsletter tool or a blogging platform or maybe a social network because of the notes feature. Well, it's none of those things, or rather, it's actually all of those things combined into something much more powerful. Substack is a discovery engine that builds you an email list. Now, let me say that again because it really is the entire point. It's a discovery engine that helps you build an email list. On every other platform, you are essentially building a following, and followers are basically worthless. Think about it. You have 10,000 followers on Instagram. How many of them actually see your posts? It's a very small percentage of your existing audience, even though that's an audience of people who have actively followed you. And sure, you can DM your followers individually, but you can't reach all of them at scale without the algorithm's permission. Your followers don't really belong to you. They belong to the platform, and the platform can change its rules whenever it wants. That's the problem with building on rented land. The landlord can change the terms or evict you entirely whenever they want. Substack is different because every piece of content you post, whether it's a long-form article or a short note, it has a subscribe button attached to it. Someone discovers your content, they hit subscribe, and they are on your email list. Not your follower list, on your actual email list that you can download and even take somewhere else if you want to use another email service service provider. You own those addresses. You can download them anytime. You can take them anywhere. If Substack disappeared tomorrow, you would still have your audience. That's the fundamental difference. On other platforms, you are renting attention. On Substack, you're building an asset that you own forever. I've been running my list on Kit for 6 years. When I started writing on Substack, I didn't give that up. I didn't migrate everything over. Instead, Substack became a growth engine that feeds my list on Kit. Every week, new subscribers discover me through Substack notes, through recommendations from other publications, or through research. And those subscribers become part of my email ecosystem. This is where I can nurture them, build relationships, and eventually offer products and services. Substack isn't replacing my email strategy. It's basically supercharging it. But here's what many creators also miss. Substack can be your entire business infrastructure if you want it to be. Publishing, it's built in. Email delivery, built in. Paid subscriptions, built in. Community chat, built in. Short-form content, included. Analytics, they're all there. I have watched creators spend hundreds of dollars a month cobbling together different tools, payment processing, email delivery, community platform, and they earn nothing in return because they don't focus on the fundamentals. And I've watched creators build six-figure businesses using entirely free tools available on Substack. The difference isn't necessarily budget, it's understanding what the platform actually offers. And this brings me to something I want to share with you, especially if you're watching this and thinking, I need to stop dabbling around and actually build something real on Substack. At Right Build Scale, we've been building on Substack for over 18 months now. We've grown to over 1,000 paid subscribers, and we've documented everything we've learned along the way. Inside our paid publication, you get access to workshops on Substack growth, templates for your content strategy, deep dives on monetization, and a community of creators who are all building on the platform together. We recently crossed 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and to celebrate, I'm doing something that we haven't done before. The first 100 people who upgrade to our annual paid plan are getting 50% off right now. I'll put the link in the description box below so you can secure your discount right away. Alright, so we talked about why Substack matters. Now let's talk about why right now matters, because the window won't stay open forever. Let me be specific about why right now is actually different. Substack Notes is still relatively new, for example, and right now it's incredibly generous to creators who use it consistently. I've seen single notes bring in hundreds of new subscribers, not over months, but within a couple of days. Compare that to LinkedIn, where organic reach has been declining for years, or X, where you're competing with millions of other posts every single day, or Instagram, where the algorithm seems designed to hide your content from people who actually want to see it. On Substack, the discovery engine is actively trying to connect readers with creators. The recommendation network means other publications can recommend yours, and their subscribers see a one-click option to subscribe to your work right away. That doesn't exist anywhere else at this scale. And look at who is moving to Substack right now. It's not just beginners testing the waters. Established creators with massive audiences on other platforms are choosing to build on Substack. People with hundreds of thousands of followers on LinkedIn, people with thriving YouTube channels, people who could keep doing what's already working, but they are making the strategic decision to invest in a platform where they actually own the audience. Now you might be asking yourself, why would someone who's already successful on social media start building somewhere new? Well, because they see what I see, that followers are borrowed, but an email list is yours. And when smart creators start migrating to a platform, that's usually a sign that the opportunity is real. Meanwhile, let's look at what's happening on other platforms. LinkedIn reach is dying. I see creators posting thoughtful content to thousands of followers and getting a handful of likes. The algorithm has tightened, the feed is cluttered, breaking through is harder than ever. X is unpredictable and increasingly cluttered. Instagram prioritizes Reels over anything else, which means if you're not making video content, you're essentially invisible. Substack is one of the few platforms right now where organic growth is still possible if you understand how to use it. So how do you actually take advantage of this window? That's what I want to cover next, because showing up isn't enough. You have to show up the right way. And the biggest difference I see between creators who grow on Substack and creators who don't comes down to one thing: intention. There are creators who post when they just feel like it, and creators who show up consistently. Those who dabble around and write whatever comes to their mind, and those who think about who they are serving and what that person actually needs. There are people who just hope that the algorithm notices them, and there are creators engineering their visibility through notes, collaborations, and recommendations. And the creators who are growing fastest on Substack right now aren't necessarily better writers or creators than everyone else. They are just more intentional. And here's the mindset shift that matters matters most. Most creators write at their audience. They broadcast, they post content and hope that someone notices it. But the creators who win on Substack, they write for their audience. They think about who they are serving, what that person needs, and how to actually help them. That's the difference between a publication people subscribe to and a publication people ignore. And here's something that doesn't happen on social media. Your content compounds. On Instagram, a post from last week is basically dead. On X, a tweet from yesterday is already forgotten. The content treadmill never stops. On Substack, every article you publish basically becomes part of a permanent archive. New subscribers can binge your back catalog, and a post you wrote months ago can convince someone to subscribe today. I regularly see new subscribers go through our archive and upgrade to paid after reading posts we published months ago. This depth creates trust in a way that social media posts can't. And remember, Substack isn't just a growth platform. It can be an entire business infrastructure, and the creators winning right now treat it that way. They have a clear audience, a clear promise, a clear paid offer, and a simple publishing rhythm. Writing alone isn't the edge anymore. Direction is. So here's where we are. The window is open, the platform is growing, the opportunity is there for you. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it? 6 months from now, you could have a growing publication, an email list you own, and real momentum toward building a sustainable creator business. Or 6 months from now, you could still be posting on LinkedIn, X, Substack, or whatever, and wondering why your reach keeps dropping. Still fighting the algorithm, still building on rented land. The difference between those two outcomes isn't talent. It's not luck. It's not some advantage other people have that you don't. The difference is deciding to build and then actually doing it. I started writing online as a broke college student. I didn't have a network, I didn't have connections, I didn't have anyone telling me that it would work. I just started, and everything I have today came from that one decision to show up. So again, the window is open for you. The only question is whether you want to take advantage of it. And if you're ready to get started, or if you've been dabbling around and want to get serious, I've put together something that might help. It's called the Substack Starter Kit. It's a free Notion dashboard that walks you through everything from setting up your profile, positioning your publication, writing your about page, creating your content, and much more. Basically everything you need to set up your Substack the right way from day one. You can grab it for free using the link in the description box below. It will save you weeks of figuring things out on your own. Now, if you found this helpful, please hit subscribe. I post new videos every week on how to grow your audience and build a real business around your expertise. And if you want to see exactly how we've built Brightbill Scale to over 1,000 paid subscribers, the specific strategies, the timeline, the mistakes we made along the way, watch this video next where I break down the complete journey. I'll see you in the next one.